So the emerging ed tech tool that I'm going to show you today is Zoom. While Zoom is not technically an education tool, it's been used a lot recently and is being used because of virtual learning right now. And it's a great resource. I use it, my school uses it, my district uses it, and I'm sure some of you are getting familiar with it right now as well. If not, or if you've never heard of Zoom before, hopefully I can teach you a little something today. So first, the URL is just zoom.us, and you can see that up here. Or just type zoom.com and that'll get you there as well. So once you get to the home page, this is what it's going to look like. Just tells you kind of what Zoom is all about. It is a video conferencing tool, but there are other things that you can do with it as well. Up at the top, you'll see you can click join a meeting. You can be a part of a Zoom meeting whether or not you have an account. So we did not ask our students to create accounts, but they can still join meetings by a link or a code that is given to them by a teacher, and other people can do that as well. So it's super easy to use. You don't even have to sign up, but if you would like to, there are options. So I'm going to go ahead and show you through my account that I have. It is a free account. Right here, I would click sign in, and then I would get to my page right here, and you can see that my account is there in the corner. So first thing at the top, there are different solutions and products that Zoom offers. The biggest one is meetings and chat, and that's what I'm going to go through today because that's how I use it, and that's how I feel like it's going to be used a lot in education. But you can also use it for conferences, meetings, webinars, that kind of thing. So those are your options right there. And then it also gives you specific pages for certain industries. So education, that is in the resources section of my post, but education for Zoom, it gives you ideas as to how you could use it in a learning environment, how to maximize the potential of this resource in the classroom. So it's a really cool resource if you have time to check that out. Contact sales is just if you want to contact Zoom for any reason, but plans and pricing. So if we click on plans and pricing, it's going to show you the different options. There is a basic free version. However, it does have some restrictions to it, the main one being 40-minute limit on group meetings. However, for educators, for schools right now, because of the coronavirus situation, that they have gotten rid of that, and so there is no limit to the meeting time on a free account. Then you can get Pro for $15 a month, which just includes more features than the basic version. Basic has been more than enough. It's awesome. I don't see anyone really needing the other ones for a classroom setting, but if you want to, these are the different options. But your basic free option is the way to go, in my opinion. I'm going to show you a couple different ways to let me get back in this, sorry. A couple different ways to use Zoom. In the classroom, I have never used it. Actually, my first time using Zoom has been with this virtual learning situation, and so I personally have never used it with students, but there's another resource in my post that shows different ways that you can use Zoom in an actual physical classroom with your students if you're interested. That would be maybe communicating with a guest speaker and they can't be there in person, or an author of a book that you want to ask questions to. You could communicate with people around the world, especially for me in a geography class. I think that'd be really cool to see different people around the world. So this is my profile. You can see just have information. This is through my work email. But a couple options at the top, if I click schedule a meeting, it's super easy to just type in your information of what you want the meeting to be. So I would name that meeting. Maybe I'm going to meet with my 6th-hour class. I could type in a title. You don't have to do a description, but you're more than welcome to. When, I would choose the day, the time, AM or PM, and then I would also choose the time zone down here. For the duration, you can put in whatever you want, but it does not need to be perfect because I've put an hour duration and gone past that before, so this is not super strict right here. When you scroll down, you don't need to click registration required. Generate automatically means that your meeting ID, so the number that you can give to people in order to join your meeting, will just be automatically generated, which is fine. You can require a meeting password if you want that extra level of security for who can get into your meeting. For video, I always turn on for the host and participant just so their video is automatically on. They don't have to jump through hoops to turn that on themselves. And then audio, I always click computer audio. You can do both, but telephone is not really a way that I'm using Zoom at this moment, so I just always use computer audio, and then they can use it from their laptop or Chromebook. Then for meeting options, you can enable people to join before the hosts. This is something I like to have off, especially when I'm doing Zooms with my students, because then they can't join and be unsupervised in a Zoom setting before the teacher's there. You can also mute participants upon entry. I've had this, a couple of classes that I've been in have done this before, just so the professor or the teacher can kind of get their thoughts out and talk and do their instructing without being interrupted, and so everybody is muted and they can't change that. Then enable waiting room. You could have a waiting room, so certain people waiting to get into the actual Zoom meeting at the beginning, and you are in charge of who you let in and when you let them in. And then you can also record your Zoom meeting, and that's something that we're encouraged to do by my district, to record every Zoom meeting in case students aren't able to join and they want to, or they want to know what you discussed during that meeting, then they can watch that as a video clip later on. You can also add different hosts so that if you ever need to leave, somebody else can kind of take over the Zoom settings. So once, if I were to, I'm just going to cancel, but once I were to save that, it would look like this. So this is just one that I have set up for my kids right now. It's super easy and awesome that you can add it straight to a Google Calendar, and that's how we do a lot of our staff meetings in my school right now. We just add it to our Google Calendar, and then I know on Tuesdays at 1 o'clock I have a staff meeting on Zoom. I could just go to my Google Calendar, click on the link right there, and it's very easy access. Another way that people can get to your meeting is if you just give them this meeting ID. I'll show you in a minute, but once they click join a meeting, all they have to do is type that in and they're good to go. If you required a password, that would be here, or you can also just copy this link, paste it into an email or something, and that's how I invite my students to Zoom meetings. So they don't have to have an account. They literally just click on this link and then they can video chat with me right there. If you copy the invitation, it shows these are all recurring meetings. That's why it has a lot of them, but it shows the information and it will have the link there as well, and you can just copy that into an email. So very simple. And then it just tells you the different settings that you have. When I want to start the meeting, I would click Start Meeting. Might take a second. You want to open. I'm just going to show you kind of a quick look at how a Zoom meeting would look. Obviously, there are no other people video chatting with me right now, so it's going to look a little weird just being me. All right, then I would click join with computer audio, and then you can see my face. Down here, you can mute yourself so that other people can't hear you. You can stop your video, and then my screen would just go black, or it would have a profile picture of me for people to see. Participants, you can see who is actually in your Zoom. Also here for stop video, sorry, I'll go back to this. Choose virtual background if you want to save a picture to computer and have a virtual background behind you. It's a really cool feature a lot of kids have fun with. And then share screen. Share screen is awesome, especially when I'm trying to help a kid through an assignment or a question that they have. So if I were to share screen, I would just click on this, and then I would choose whichever screen that I want to show, and it's going to show everybody that is on the Zoom what is on my computer screen. So that's super easy. There's also a whiteboard feature where you can draw like a whiteboard. I'll show you, exit out of this one, but there are a lot of awesome features there. Then you can pause and stop the recording if you are recording. Chat is another way you can communicate with people in the video chat without actually talking. So maybe an instructor is giving directions and students are asking questions off to the side here. That's something I've seen before. You can close that out. And then you can end your meeting here and end it for everybody. So that's just a quick look If you have several people in your video chat, you do have the option to see everybody's face kind of as a box of their own, or it will highlight the person who is talking at the time, and so you will see their face most. So if I were to go back here and kind of show you how you as a person joining a Zoom meeting would join a meeting. If I were to click join, right here is just where I need to type in the meeting ID that I was given. So you can do it this way. Sorry about that. You can do it this way, just type in the personal meeting ID, or you can just click on a link that is given to you through an email, a text, whatever way that you start to join a Zoom meeting. So again, this is just a very brief look at Zoom and kind of how I've been using it with my students right now. If you have any questions, I have become sort of a Zoom expert. There are a few things that I haven't tried out yet, but if you have any questions for me, I am happy to answer them. So that is Zoom.